Hey, what's up, guys? This is One Man Talk About. This is Mr. Carlitos, and we have another guest today, Andrew. What's
Nice
up,
to meet
Andrew?
you guys. How's it going?
We want to learn a couple things from you, dude.
Yeah, so I'm 21 years old. I started working around the age of like 14, 15. I started in more of like labor-intensive work. I moved my way up all the way up to sales. Started early. I was kind of gifted in the fact that I got the opportunity to start in sales and start my own business as well on the side and a few other side hustles.
That is insane, dude. Like, you said you're 21.
I'm 21.
And you were telling me that the most money that you've made, how much is it? Over 100,000?
Yeah, so I made over 100,000 by the age of 20. Made over 100,000. Pretty much worked in sales at Roseville Toyota. So if I had stayed at that job, pretty much I was on track to hit way over $100,000 by the age of 20. And then as well on the side, I had my own passive income. I basically was doing a drop shipping type business. I created a thank you card. I stuck it in a niche and it kind of popped off. And then as well, I bought and sold cars on the side.
When did you start that drop shipping? Because I've seen that a lot on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like the new thing that everybody's doing now.
It wasn't exactly just like drop shipping like you see on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Drop shipping usually is where it's an already existing product. And you just find out a way to market it, and you're going to sell it for pretty much a higher price than what your manufacturer is selling it to you for, and then you get that little cut of profit in between. So for me, basically what I did was I created a product from scratch. It was basically a thank you card with eucalyptus leaves on it and whatnot. So I found a niche in the eucalyptus leaf part. I listed it on Amazon. We sold quite a few already, and I made around 10 grand passively with that and stocks and other stuff.
And this is all, when did you start that?
I started that at 20. Pretty much right now we're actually about to close it, shut it down, and start something else. But we started that at the age of 20, literally like a couple months into my last job selling cars.
And what's making you? Why are you shutting that down if it's passively making you about 10,000 a month?
So it's starting to decline. I don't really see it taking off any more than it is, and the amount of time and effort that we put in it at the beginning, it's not going to basically track and keep going the way it's been going.
How much kind of investment did you have to put in to start it off?
That one, me and my partner, we put in a total of like 1,500 each, and we had 742 units, and we sent it to the Amazon warehouse, and then advertised it. Advertisement was like 40 to like $60 every single like week or so, so it wasn't that expensive.
Okay.
Did you already know that it was something that it was gonna sell, or you guys were just went and try it out and cross your fingers?
So there's multiple websites to figure out whether or not a product is doing well or not. There's a few of them out there, and then basically websites like Alibaba or other websites that will get you in connections with manufacturers also have information on what's doing well at the time, also what is most bought, what is most clicked on, what are the I forget what it's called, but what are the rates that people are clicking on your ad or clicking on your website or anything like that, and then also
algorithms, right?
Yeah, exactly. So there are multiple websites to figure that out. For us, it was more so a matter of like, what can we put like the least amount of money into, learn the trade, learn business more so than we already know, and then on top of that, also basically have something that's lightweight, packageable, and not going to cost us a lot to not only produce but ship, and then also find like a market for it. If there's already something that there's a market for, that isn't as tapped into as you would think, then that's something to definitely shoot for.
So what exactly was it? You said it was a
Thank you card, right?
a thank you card?
Yeah.
With a smell, or that's what came to my head, like the eucalyptus smell, like.
Yeah. So it was thank you cards with eucalyptus type style design. So,
Oh, okay. So it was a design. It wasn't like you open it and it smelled like eucalyptus.
So yeah. So something even as small as that basically put us into a niche market. So let's say I did like a normal thank you card, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I designed my own thank you card. It was very generic, very plain.
How did you design this?
So we actually hired out through like Fiverr and whatnot.
Okay.
So we had people that would create like these designs. We'd go back and forth for a while.
So that's where the investment you said it came from, right?
That's where it started at.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where it started at. And then basically the actual 1,500 is mostly going to be for the actual units themselves. It put us at, I believe it was like $1.60 something per unit or something like that.
And then you got this out of Alibaba. You had
Yeah. So we did Alibaba, so straight from China,
Mhm.
and basically they shipped to us in boxes, and we QC'd them ourselves, quality controlled them ourselves.
Mhm.
and then sent it to the Amazon warehouse.
I see. So you use this website to basically find what people are buying.
Yeah.
You went and designed something a little bit different, right? That way someone understood, and then you went and placed a big order from China because it's super cheap over there.
Exactly.
In Alibaba, and then you got all the packages, and then you were able to take them to Amazon store, and then they handle basically all the shipping, the sales,
everything.
And then you paid $60 a week for advertisement.
Pretty much, yeah. You can. There's like multiple different advertisement campaigns. Like a lot of people. Something that I wish I had done was actually do basically Facebook ads and then as well like Instagram ads.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge right now. Basically, what I was talking about earlier. People clicking on your ad and then actually buying, your rate's actually a lot better on websites like that. If you advertise on things like Amazon, it's easy, but it's not as good.
I see. I see. Wow. So do you have plans of trying something else?
Yeah.
A different product?
Yeah. So my whole thing is, well, I'm going to school, so I have to do something smaller. But pretty soon I wanna get into real estate pretty soon. That's my biggest goal. So I have money in stocks and puts and whatnot. What I want to do is after I grow enough capital, I want to buy my first house and start getting into real estate. That's my goal.
So you want to be, well, you were in sales being in the dealership, so now you want to work for yourself basically in real estate.
Yeah, I one thing that doesn't sit with me very well is people tell me what to do. And so there was a lot of that at the dealership, and
that's a thing that I had issues with as well.
Yeah, so I'm happy to be out of that. Definitely been able to complete a lot of goals of mine in that period.
And that is a beautiful thing, because we all get told you got to go to school, you got to get a degree, you got to do this and that, and basically they're telling you what to do. And one of the biggest things that I was telling you earlier is that one regret I have is not start sales when I was younger. At your age, like you have a huge opportunity having been able to start in sales and get your hands wet in sales, because you now learn one of the things that to me is the most important thing that you can learn out there. Sales is everything. You use sales techniques to talk to girls. You use sales to get somebody to do something that you want. Basically, that's what sales is. Everything is sales. Even when you're a kid, when you go and ask for candy, that is sales, because you go ask for that order all the time. You ask, can I have candy? Can I have candy? Can I have candy? Can I have candy? Until your parents give you candy, right? So everything in life is sales. Anything. You talk to anybody at the cashier, you're buying groceries, everything, if you look around, everything was sold at some point. What you wear, services, you're getting haircuts, everything is sales. So once you learn that, how to sell, you pretty much can do whatever you want. And like you said, something very interesting is that you don't like people telling you what to do. And that's one of the things that you learn in sales too, because in sales, usually if you're selling for yourself, nobody tells you what to do. As long as if you're making a lot of money, depending on the company, I imagine, but let's say you're one of the top sales in a company, a lot of people, the managers won't tell you anything. If you're late, you're making money for them. So they really shouldn't be telling you what to do, because then they can lose you and then they lose money.
It's true.
So sales, learning sales is very important. It's one of the most important things that you can learn, especially when you're young like that, when you can still be supported by your parents.
You have that safety net still.
Dude, you can become dangerous.
Yeah.
You can become a dangerous guy. Like, you can do anything. The sky is the limit once you learn that sales. So that got you sales. Because of sales, you made over $100,000 in 1 year. Being 20 years old, right? That's how old you were. 20 years old. So the average income here in the States is about $40,000 a year for average male. Your age, you blew everybody out the water, dude.
You're already making more than double.
You are the 0.00001% of guys 20-year-olds.
So on that fact, actually, basically, one of the craziest things I heard from my old boss, and Carlos could second this. He would say basically, his parents were both teachers, very respectable, very highly awarded position, right? They're they're definitely selfless people and whatnot. They went to college, they got their degree, they did the old-fashioned way, and they did the respectful way, right? One of the craziest things I heard from him, his name was Brandon. He basically put us all in these desks like you're in school again, and he got up front and he gave this speech. He said, pretty much, his parents were against him not going to college, and they were against him working in a sales position. And basically, what he did was he worked as hard as he could. He got the biggest paycheck he possibly could, and he slapped it on the table. And his parents immediately were fine with him working a sales job.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah. So he made more than both of them combined.
Yeah.
In 1 month, right?
Same thing. Both my parents are both teachers, and the biggest thing for them is going to school, get a degree, and that's how I was basically brainwashed. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. If that's your thing, that's okay. But that's not that you're capped. When you get a degree, you will be capped because your paycheck will be determined by who hires you, and you are capped. There's no unlimited paycheck when you have a degree and you're working as a lawyer. And a lawyer, kind of, you work on your own thing.
There's still souls involved, even as a lawyer, because then you have to sell yourself to clients.
100%.
Yeah, and 100%. Having a business, for example, let's say we start a business, you don't necessarily have to do the hard work. You don't necessarily have to you just manage, and then you let that baby run by itself, and then you focus on a different one, and you let that baby run itself, and now you have a lot of income coming in. So now you just got to put your hands a little bit on these companies a little bit. Once you get that running, once you get that going. And basically it's unlimited. That's why these guys, these billionaires, they become billionaires because they done that.
Multiple income sources.
It's multiple incomes. Like one company shuts down, it's not that big of a deal. They have another couple running,
Yeah.
They become more of investors. It's just investing, putting money back. So it's a big deal. Same thing happened to me. Like I was going in to basically working for commission only. Mm-hmm. My parents, my family, they were like, "You're crazy. You're commission only, and you working this long hours."
Yeah, I got the same talks. Yeah.
And then when I show them the big ass checks, they're like, "Oh shoot." My parents were not for it at all. They definitely like. My dad's like pretty much a doctor. He's a family nurse practitioner. He went to school for like the same amount of time as a doctor and everything. So everyone just calls him a doctor. He's making really good money, but when I told him how much I made, he definitely had a face on for sure. He was a little upset that it took him that long to make that much money. Cause think about it, my entire family's in the medical field. Like I was telling you earlier, think about it, dude. Like this doctors, they not only they have to work their ass off, like they have to work and study. They have to, and it's like 12 hours. They have to sleep at the hospital. They work their ass off, man. Yeah. It's insane the work that they do. Nurses working 12, 15 hours a day is no joke. It's no joke, dude. And they do all this, and they go to school. They have to get good scores. They already are in a disadvantage because they don't get that much sleep, and they have to wake up early, and they have to get good grades. Like you're already putting your body into that. To then you graduate, and now you have all these student loans that it's a little bit tough to pay. It's a lot of money depending on how much student loan debt you get. It's a lot of money. Now you gotta work. You basically starting from negative still after you graduate. So this is why I did not go to school anymore, because I was like, okay, so if I were just to put that energy that I wanted to become an engineer. If I'm gonna be sleeping 4 hours a day and going to school and studying the next day, if I was to put all that energy into a business, I would be a millionaire. My entire thing will change. Like, how long did he go to school? Like 8 years?
Yeah, he was in school for I believe 9 years. He messed up when he was around my age. Pretty much he went to the military, and then when he got out of the military, he finished school to get his bachelor's, and then he went back to school at 45 to get his master's and all that. So he spent a long time in school.
But you know what? One of the things that because everybody does mistakes, and I've done a lot of them. Something that I want to bring up is that the Fortune 500 companies, these big companies, millionaires. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the exact percentage, but a huge percentage of these people have military background or some type of martial arts background. And there's one thing that you can take from that is that what does those two have in common?
They both build like your attitude towards work, attitude towards doing things that are challenging.
Well, I think it's more like the work ethic.
I'll tell you right now.
Build the ethic.
Discipline.
That's what it is. Discipline.
Discipline. That's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
So the fact that your dad went to the military school, I can tell you right now, if I asked him this question, what did you learn from that? That discipline.
100%.
And because of that discipline, that made him go back to school and get his shit together and do it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we need discipline. Sometimes we don't have the opportunity to, because discipline, you got to teach your kids discipline. And sometimes we are not taught discipline. You know, I was fortunate enough that I was taught discipline, and I do have a martial arts background.
Some people are taught too much discipline. Some people are taught too little discipline.
Right. I guess there's a way to discipline your kids the right way. I don't know.
Yeah.
But for example, Carlos has had a successful business, started from zero, didn't know much. Like,
I don't know a thing about.
He was young and all that, but one thing I can tell you from Carlos, he is disciplined. The guy was almost a pro boxer. The guy will not drink sodas when he was young, like things that kids, he missed out on so many parties, he missed out on a lot of things because he was disciplined. His parents taught him discipline. So that is why I believe he made it and he was able to get a successful business. One of the things that you probably have is you had your dad that went to the military school, and you're automatically getting disciplined. You're automatically getting treated like he got treated in the military. So that is and that is why, at being 18, 20 years old, you were able to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And same thing it goes with me. I was disciplined. My issue, so everybody knows, that some people already know, my issue was having a baby. That's where I fucked up. And not that I don't care about my baby, obviously.
Because I mean,
I got married.
You got married.
See?
But you didn't have a baby on
Those
the first
are
marriage.
excuses.
You got married on you got your baby on the second marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got your second baby on your post-marriage divorce.
Mm-hmm.
One night stand.
Yeah, and those kind of those kind of mistakes.
Mistakes in this life.
Those mistakes fuck you over. It's not that I have a baby and I regret my babies. No, I love my kids, but the mistake, for example, I made was, even though I was disciplined and I consider myself disciplined, I was
focused on relationships.
I focused on relationship and not focus on actually making money. I thought
you're thinking with your other head, not the top head.
Exactly. I was thinking with the wrong head,
which a lot of men tend to do, and then that's what a lot of men.
And that is why I started this channel, bro. Like, for real, like, there's a lot of guys that have so much potential. They know so much. They're stronger. They're capable of doing things. Like, for example, I came to this country. I was illegal. I had no social security number.
When you got here?
I was 16 years old, so I couldn't get. I didn't have the language. I couldn't. I still can't speak English very well, but you know, I try. You understand enough. But you know, I didn't have the language, and this is, I'm not trying to excuse myself, but I didn't have the language. I came with no social security number. I couldn't just go and get a job. Like, no, they check your security,
your background.
Yeah, they check all your stuff, make sure you're legal.
At least you got something out of marriage number one.
Right. So yeah, that was a good thing. But you know, I didn't have all that stuff. So it was mainly, I think the problem I had was mainly confidence. I didn't have the confidence that I needed.
When I met you in high school, you were very, very shy.
I was super shy. Well, I didn't speak any English, bro. I felt like out of place, you know. The culture is different. I'm being Guatemalan. Culture is completely different.
He's Guatemalan. Met this guy.
I've been to Guatemala, beautiful country.
No way.
Beautiful country.
Oh, that's awesome. We're gonna talk about that later.
I've been to Guatemala, Colombia. I've been to like Mexico, a bunch of
Wow, that's
Panama.
crazy. So, but basically, my culture is completely different from Mexican. Even the language, like, even though we both speak Spanish, it's different. It's completely different, and they wouldn't understand what I was saying. You know, they wouldn't understand a couple words, and that's why I started this podcast, because there's a lot of guys like me. There's a lot of guys like me that have potential, but they don't know how to use that.
They waste it. They squander it.
They waste it.
I mean, I think the number one thing you can waste in your life is time.
That's the truth.
One thing you'll never get back.
There's an amazing quote that I heard. Basically, I mean, I can ask you, Carlos. If I were to tell you, I'll give you $1 million tomorrow, would you take it?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's the catch. You would know that your life would end after tomorrow. You would have 1 day to spend that $1 million. Would you still take it?
You can offer me $1 billion and I still.
You still wouldn't take it, right? Correct. So, basically for me, of course, wasting time. It's awful, man. It's a thing that a lot of people do. They waste it on things like pleasures and whatnot from life, which is fine. But there has to be a balance, right? Someone like me, being 21 years old, I'm still young.
And then like that one thing you told me about how you set your life in perspective. You saw that you've already lived a quarter of your life, right?
Yeah.
Coming from a 21-year-old, do you ever hear a 21-year-old say,
"No,
I've already lived a certain amount of my?" Most people at 21, they're thinking, "I'm barely about to start living."
Yeah.
They don't start thinking. They don't start reflecting on their life and seeing, "Am I at where I want to be?
Am I adequate to what I want to be?"
That mindset alone tells you you're at a much different spot than most people your age.
It's the truth. Yeah. So basically, for me, like what he's talking about is pretty much recently. Actually, I had kind of like an epiphany in my life. Pretty much, I was able to look at my life through a third person lens. Me and my friend had a conversation, and he basically told me, like, man, it's insane. We've already lived through a quarter of our lives, if we're lucky to get to 80 or whatever, right? And like thinking about that, I was like, man, what did I see myself? Where did I see myself at when I was like closer to 12, 13, whatever years old, right? I wanted to be pretty much like Superman. I wanted to be a handsome guy with the muscles.
You look like a blonde.
Yeah, Superman. Like Clark Kent. Yeah. But so pretty much like I wanted the muscles. I wanted the women. I wanted to have education under my belt. I wanted to have capital. I wanted to have status, man. And even by now, like I wanted all these things, right? And I realized going off of like discipline and whatnot, and going off of like having it like good in America, like I literally have no excuse to not make it to where I saw myself at the age of 12 or 13. I have zero excuse. At this moment, until middle of August, I live with my parents, so I have a huge safety net, right? I don't have any kids. I don't have a wife. I don't have any dependents that really need me yet, but eventually I will. And eventually, when push comes to shove, I want to be ready for that, and I want to be at the position that I saw myself at 12 or 13. And the longer I wait on that, the longer I give up on that, the more dependence, more stuff is going to come in the way and distract me from that.
Right now, you have the opportunity that you are the most important person in your world.
Yeah.
You are the most important person. The more you invest on yourself, the bigger you will become. Like, how can you, like, I always say, like, how can I make somebody else happy if I'm not happy myself? How can I have a family if I can't even sustain myself? If I can't even buy my own house? If I can't even buy my own stuff? How can I expect to have kids and a wife when I can't even do that for myself? So
yeah.
That is a good way of thinking, and then you have time.
Yeah.
You have so much time, and you can become so big, like you don't even know. And you do have those dreams. You do have that kind of dreams, and then all you have to do is execute those dreams. And one of the things I was telling you when you got here is, and I want to tell everybody all the time. I tell everybody all the time, do not focus on women. Do not focus on women. I'm telling you, do not focus on women. All your 20s, bro, you work on yourself. You can have women after 30, and if they're just gonna come left and right. You can have 5, as many as you want. You don't have to marry all of them. Like if that's your thing, cool. If you want to have a family and you want to marry one woman, you're gonna give them a great life.
What we're trying to tell people is that you want to have a lot of women. You can have a lot of women. You want to have one, you can have whatever you decide to do is fine, but you'll have control of what you want to do.
Exactly.
You have the choice.
You have to be in control. Like, don't let any other woman control you. Control you with the baby. Control you with the child support. Control you with all. Don't let anybody else control your pocket. Like, how would you guys feel? Like, I'm serious. Wear a condom. How would you guys feel? Like, okay, I'm gonna make $5,000 a month, but the baby mama is gonna take $2,500 off my check.
Awful.
And a lot of guys don't believe this, but they do take half your check, bro. They don't give a damn how much you make, if you're gonna be able to survive, if you're gonna be able to pay rent, if you're gonna be able to get to work because you have no gas. They don't care. They will take half your check.
If you lose your job, they don't care. They don't care. Expect you to.
That's the funny thing. If it's your fault for losing the job, let's say you were late too many times and then you lost your job, if you go to court
They're
and then
still
like
after
I
you.
lost my job. Oh, how
Sure.
much you used to make? Oh, you used to make 100,000 back then. Okay, we're gonna use that as you're an employee. That doesn't matter. You can get another job. 100,000. You gotta pay $6,000 a month for child support. That's
This guy knows
there you go,
how many courts? I don't know.
bro. I have 11 courts coming up.
Just in the next month?
11
Or 2 months?
In a month. I have like, dude,
6-7 court
yeah,
dates, right?
yeah.
Wow.
It's insane.
Yeah,
Not
he
only
has a lot of
time.
So he's speaking. He's not just saying that. You're not talking out of anger, despair. You're
No.
talking out of experience. 'Cause
Exactly.
You're there right now. You've been there. You've seen the judge. You've heard all these things that people are telling you. You're living that beforehand. So you want
Exactly.
to share those examples.
You don't have to go through this.
So people
You
don't go
don't
through
have
this,
to go through this.
Yeah.
All you have to do is
Wear a condom.
buy a condom.
Focus on
Wear a
that.
condom. Have that bitch suck it. You know, like, dude, seriously, wear a
Oh, you
condom.
edited.
No, I'm not gonna edit that. Hell no. But yeah, that's one of the things, and I really won't know. Anyways, I don't want to talk about that too much already.
Let's get back to Andrew. I
Yeah.
had a question when you were telling us. So you had an epiphany. You were looking at your life through a third lens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At 21, that's kind of crazy because I look at myself when
Maturity.
I was 21. I remember both of us when we were 20, we would never even. We were thinking we were barely.
We were thinking, hey, bro, hey, I call you up. You
What are we
going to
doing
that
tonight?
party, bro?
What are we doing tonight? Yeah.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Exactly. You want to go play pool?
Let's go play pool.
Yeah, you want to be here?
So the most people when they're 21, they're not thinking, hey, let me focus on my life.
Yeah.
So the one thing that caught my attention was you said you saw your life looking back at what you wanted when you were 12 years old, right?
Yeah. 12, 13.
So
somewhere
12,
around
13 years old, you already had a plan of what you want your life to be,
there.
right? So my question is, has that plan changed now that you're 21? That plan that
Oh, 100%.
12, 13-year-old
100%.
had,
Yeah.
and now that you're older, how has that plan changed, and what has that plan changed to?
Yeah, so basically for me, like when I was 12 or 13 years old, my whole thing was I wanted to be like, of course I wanted to be like the man that everyone wants to be at that age, right? I wanted to have the muscles, I wanted to have the women, wanted to have the money, wanted to have the cool cars, all that stuff, right? So it was a little bit naive to think about all that stuff. A lot of it is still what I want to be, right? But there's still the part of me that wants to like get up in the world, basically be self-sufficient, be ready for a family. All that stuff is very, very important. One thing that has changed though is I don't see myself necessarily wanting to be in like Fortune 500 for instance. That would be like amazing. That would be like wonderful, and I probably could if I really put my head to it. But the one thing that has changed is I see myself as a family man for sure. Eventually in life, not now, eventually in life when I'm 28, when I'm 29, somewhere in there, closer to 30, when I'm ready to have kids, because I'm starting now and getting ready for that, I definitely want to have a family, and I want to have someone who supports my career for sure.
Exactly, and that's what pushes you forward. I was just listening to one of those shorts that says that a man needs a purpose. Because I've had it. I've had money, and I've been broke. I've been instances where I didn't even have food on my fridge, like so that bad.
Mhm.
But I've also had money to spend.
Yeah.
I've had trips. I've had nice cars, you know.
So life's a roller coaster, you know, especially in the
Right.
sales world.
Yeah.
You could be the top salesman.
$3,000 check all the way to like whatever, 15, 20,
$50,000
whatever.
check.
And-
What's the highest salesperson made? What was it? 1 month of sales, $71,000.
Really? I didn't even know that actually.
Yeah, one of the
That's
top
insane.
salesperson.
That
That
is
was. I don't know if that was 2 weeks or 1 month,
Wow.
but the biggest check that just for sales. And then of course we got the people who make $1,500 in
Right.
2 weeks. So
Yeah.
working 120 hours.
So it's not all money. Like money, it helps you. It basically you don't have to. I want to get to a point where I don't have to worry about money, right? I'm not at that point yet, but money is important to a certain point. And what you said, like you already had money, so you thinking about more as a family. I need to provide for my family, and I want to be ready for family.
Yeah.
That ultimately that is what really matters.
That's a mature way of thinking.
Money is not everything.
Money's not everything, but it gives you the freedom to do whatever you want. You know.
It's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm definitely, I would say I'd use the term I'm chasing my bag right now, right? I'm definitely going for money. But not necessarily with the goal just to have money. I don't really think anyone chases money just to have money. No one really chases it for having the extra comma on your bank account, right? For me, it's like I want to be self-sufficient enough. I want to make enough money to where I can basically support a family. I can spend my time, like you were saying, on things that I want to do. I don't want to have bills and debt and all this other stuff controlling my life, because at the end of the day, like I said, I've already used a quarter of it. I want to make the most of my life to where I'm not worrying about that constantly throughout.
And that's where true happiness is. Like, I mean, I had a different mindset at your age. I wanted money. I
Mhm.
just cared about money. And like Carlos said, when you chase money,
Money
it
runs.
runs away.
Mhm.
Same with women. We chase women,
They
women
run away.
run away. So I had a different mindset, and it wasn't until I was shit. Like it wasn't until I was really broke. I was completely broke when I realized you can be happy even being broke.
Yeah.
I can tell you that I was the happiest man when I was the brokest. When I was super broke. Being able to going to the store because I had extra money, going to the grocery store, get a couple stuff for the fridge, and coming home and drop the food on the table. It felt so good. I was so happy in that moment.
Yeah.
I can tell you that I was so happy that I was able to buy food and fill up my fridge.
Provide, yeah.
And I tell you that I had to suffer to actually learn this, because I wasn't appreciating the things I already had.
Mhm.
And happiness is when you appreciate the things that you already have. I had a good life. I wasn't poor when I was a kid. It wasn't until I was older that happened.
It wasn't until your couple fuck ups, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
he's multiple divorces here.
so that's when I learned how to value the things I already had.
Yeah.
To the point where as long as I have a roof over my head and I have food on the fridge, I can live. I'm happy. I'm completely happy. I can give everything away. Like, I don't care. And it wasn't until that point when I started becoming successful.
Well, I still
That-
need AC. Roof, food, and AC.
And AC, right?
Especially in California.
in Sacramento.
Triple
Sacramento
weather,
especially.
Sacramento right now we
Yeah.
got what, 114, 110.
Cook an egg in a pan on the street.
So that is when I actually learned the
Value
to be
money.
the valuable, and
Value
I
your
can tell
happiness,
you
yeah.
that people could see that I was happy. That's where you get that's where girls start chasing you. When you're happy, girls start chasing you. It's just the way that you talk, you show yourself.
Persona.
Your
Yeah, for sure.
persona.
The
It
confidence.
shows
that
up.
stuff that you were talking about.
Confidence. Confidence.
It took that suffering.
So
gave you that confidence.
the point I want to give is not necessarily everything is money, because you can really be happy being broke. You really can be happy being broke, but that's not a good life
No, that's
either.
not a good life either.
You
Like,
know?
one thing I've always told you is like, somebody that tells you money's not. I mean, I agree with to some extent, right? Money's not happiness. But have you ever seen, somebody sitting in a Maserati eating a gelato, crying?
Yeah.
Only I think I've seen the artists. There's a lot of artists that go through depression.
Yeah, I mean,
But the way that they earn their money, it was different though. I feel like the
Well,
way-
yeah, they have like drugs and a mixture of like a high pressure
Bad habits.
high pressure situation.
mental disorders.
Yeah, it's usually it's sad, man. A lot of artists and whatnot have like mental fallbacks. A lot of them just because of the way the industry is, and then also like I feel like to make music, actually, you have to have a little bit of that, because you empathize more with people that are listening to your music, for sure.
Yeah. You said we were gonna learn something else about you because we were
Yeah.
So what else are you gonna surprise us with?
So yeah, my family, man. So basically, what I was saying is, a lot of the way I think is I would say because of my parents and because of my grandparents. When I was younger, basically my parents didn't have anything. My dad had a bachelor's degree for nursing, and so he was a nurse, and he had debt, a lot of debt, because he didn't have any help from his dad.
Mhm.
My mom was a psychiatric nurse. She had an associate's degree. Basically, she as well wasn't really making as much as she could have, and we didn't have that much money. We were able to buy a few cars that would break down every couple months. I'd work on these cars and help my dad with that, and my parents would be money became an issue very quickly for them, right? It became something that they fought over, and something that almost destroyed their marriage, to be honest. And
that happens.
yeah, so for me, just like witnessing that and seeing that, it was really tough. It kind of
You don't
showed
want to
me,
go through the same thing.
I don't want to do that, dude. I don't want to have to worry about that. I don't want to have fights with anyone that I care about over something material or anything like that. I for me that sounds ridiculous. Like, I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous. Like, this isn't something that
Not
I should
worth
be.
it.
Yeah, this isn't something that I should
Not
be put
worth
in a
it.
position of in the first place, or putting you guys in that position either. I should be providing for you guys, right? And then as well, just like my dad is always pushed me to be the best version of me. So I can definitely appreciate that. And he's definitely told me some stories that he's not proud of and he's not happy with, that allowed me to learn from his mistakes, and I didn't do as many mistakes as he did.
How many siblings do you have?
I have a brother. I have a younger brother. Yeah.
A younger brother. So
Yeah.
that puts like kind of like the pressure on you, because you gotta
Yeah.
you gotta be the role model and all that. But I can tell you, man, I can tell. I hope your dad listens to this. I'm sure he's proud of you,
Yeah.
because your young age, you already killed the system. Yeah, you already killed the game.
Yeah.
You're already killing it, and you have so much more to go. Like
Even though you
so
think
much,
that you've already lived a quarter of your life,
Yeah.
bro.
you still have a lot left.
Yeah.
I mean, well, only God knows, because I mean, we could all
It's true, dude.
get out of this. I mean, we've known some people that passed away recently.
awful,
we
man.
would have never even,
Scott Mackey.
we would
Man.
have never even guessed he was healthy, and so you never know when
Yeah, you never
you're
know.
gonna take that last breath or that that last step, or it could happen. But if no freak of nature accidents happen
Yeah.
or unexpected health conditions that arise, you still have a
Yeah.
long life left in you.
It's true.
Now let me ask you, what do you think about kids your age? Like, would you tell them that it's possible that anybody can do it?
Man, 100%. So, like, when I see people my age, like 19, 20, whatever, when I see people my age like wasting their life away just watching TV and like rotting on their phones or whatever for the entire day, right? It makes me almost like upset, because like in your case, right, you fought to get to this country, dude. You literally risked your life coming to this country 100% without a doubt. People like me, my age or whatever, that sit around and do nothing with the opportunity that they're given, it's insane to me. You have parents that are supporting you. You have your safety net, right? So no matter what you do, you're gonna be all right. Like, people will think, if I put $1,500, $2,000 into this and I lose it, it's the end of the world. It's not. You're gonna learn something, even if it does fail. You'll fail, and then maybe one time you'll have a success. That's perfect. That's exactly what you want, and you learn from that.
There's a saying in Spanish that I learned at a young age that I'm gonna try to translate it, but I'd rather
Say it in
shoot
Spanish, I
high.
can see it.
I'd rather shoot high and miss
Yeah,
than shoot low and hit the target every time.
yeah. If you shoot for the stars, you might hit the moon. Yeah.
So it is very it's crazy how the kids. I thought about it too, the same way that you were thinking, because I came here. You're right. I didn't have the same opportunities that everybody did, but I still made it,
Yeah.
and I still made more money than people that were born here, that English was their first language. I still made more money than a lot of other kids that did have the opportunities that I didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
I do see friends and sometimes family that they're struggling. They're not where I was in their age. Like, I see that, man, these guys are wasting their time. They're wasting their life. They have all the opportunities that I didn't have, and
Yeah.
they're still struggling. They're still wasting their money. They're still money on drugs. A big thing.
Yeah.
Kids will come to my house and they will see like two screens. We talked about it last podcast too. Like,
Yeah.
they will see like nice screens, like nice computer. Like, my computers are always.
Oh,
I
yeah,
spend
high
money
school.
on
So
computer
since-
stuff.
A
Geeky
little
stuff.
background. I don't know if he hasn't been able to see that because we haven't uploaded.
Yeah,
that.
I haven't uploaded
We've
it.
been preoccupied in a lot of stuff, so we've been a little slow on uploading videos, but we're gonna try to upload some more. So one thing we talked about was, so ever since I met him in high school,
Mm-hmm.
he's always been a tech guy, right? Especially, this is what, about 10
I mean, look at
15 years ago?
that.
Yeah. But like 10, 15 years ago, even having more computers was already a little bit more rare, right?
I
Now
build them and
technology is more.
everything.
So first time I go to his house, he opens the door to his room and I see like 2 computers, and I'm like, have you seen Dexter's Lab? You might be too young.
Yeah.
It kind of
Great
felt
show.
like it kind of felt like I see all these gadgets, all these computer stuff. I was like, man, well, we have all these other kids, the same age we were, right around that
Mhm.
same age. You're a little older than me, spending money on, oh, let's go buy some weed, let's go.
That's exactly
But
what I was gonna say.
This guy was like me, like you said. I wouldn't when you met me in high school.
Mhm.
I was boxing, so I was very fit. I wouldn't even drink soda. You know,
Yeah.
like stuff that wasn't gonna benefit me. So
Yeah, dude, like they would come to my room and I was like, "How'd you buy that? Where'd you get that money from?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't spend my money on drugs. I don't spend my money on stupid
Yeah.
shit. Like,
It's true.
bro, I wouldn't even spend my money on going to McDonald's. Like, not even fast food. Like, I would not buy stuff outside. Like, shit, I can eat at my house. I used to live with my sister when I first moved here. I live with my sister. My sister would feed me, so well, I'm gonna go spend money out there if my sister is feeding me, like things like that. And every
I
single
was guilty
time,
a couple times. I ditched.
you would pay for me.
When I wasn't like preparing for a fight or something, and if I had a cheat meal, I was like, bro, come on, let's ditch. And then we'd
Going to Mickey D's.
So a lot of the times you guys paid for me, so it was like I didn't go out or anything like that, you know.
But then
Yeah.
you can see all that.
Yeah,
money
there,
you save. When you open your door, you're like, man, this is like.
I will buy something and then upgrade it. So I will sell the used stuff on eBay and I will buy
Yeah.
a new one. Like that's how I worked. Like I will
That's
buy
our mentality.
MP3
100%.
players. I bought a bunch on eBay for $20 and I will sell them for $50-$70. Like
Oh, I remember when you were able to put music and people downloaded music. I think you sold me one in high school
MP3.
with music included. Because that's
Probably,
when
yeah.
you had to download all the music.
Yeah, yeah.
You could get around it and everything.
No, I
yeah,
don't think you didn't sell it to me. I think you gave me one for free.
To the point. So I used to come to the States like almost every year with a visa and everything.
That's when you
with my
still lived in
family.
Guatemala, right?
I used to buy in Costco. I used to come from Guatemala, right? I had a little bit of money. I used to buy this a stack of blank CDs in Costco, right? This big stack. And
your
I
time.
didn't have internet in Guatemala. We didn't have internet. It was way too expensive to even afford it, and even the internet was extremely slow to even be worth it. So I would come here. I had an iPod. My auntie bought me an iPod. They had a bunch of. I asked her for the biggest gigabytes, the biggest storage. So I would put a lot. I came here. I would put a lot of stuff in it, music, movies, and I downloaded a lot of porn on there. LimeWire, back in the day, I downloaded a lot of that. I would go back to Guatemala and I would use the blank CDs and I would burn music, porn, movies, and I would sell it to my friends in Guatemala. I would sell it to my, hey bro, I got this CD right here, DVD right here, and I would sell it to them, and that's how I made my money. Then I would come next year and do the same thing. And that's how I got my nice things. That's how I was able to afford things.
Yeah.
But I lost that. Once I started working, I kind of lost that. I stopped hustling because it was just going to work.
You chase the paycheck, you chase the money.
I
you
started
lost
chasing the
hustle mentality.
paycheck. Yeah.
See what happens when you chase money?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
It's true.
I messed up on there. And
You settled down and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you settled down.
100%.
And then
that's why I don't want that to happen to you, man.
Yeah.
It's already
Keep
not
going.
happening,
Keep
though.
going. Keep going.
Yeah. It almost
He's
did.
already got a head start.
It almost did, man. Towards so I ended up a lot of you guys wouldn't know this, but I ended up quitting my sales job, and the reason for that was just like I was tired of being told what to do. I realized like I was being conformed to someone I didn't really want to be, and I realized like that just wasn't for me. And it's for some people for sure.
I mean, it's
a
some
good-
people are
it's a
meant
good
for
job.
that.
It's
Some
a good
people are
job.
just not meant for that. Like school, you know, like some people are meant to go to school. Some
Yeah.
people are meant to do sales or do some kind of business or something.
Yeah.
You know? So
100%, it's a good job. Just for me personally, I didn't really see myself. I didn't really see myself continuing it just because I thought I was losing like a lot of who I was. So
I think you reach your point where you realize money wasn't
wasn't
making
everything
you happy
at that
anymore.
point.
And you're
Yeah.
like, you've already made some investments, and now it's time to chase whatever now makes you happy.
Where I saw myself, yeah, for sure. I wasn't hitting. I was hitting my money goal for sure. Like I was getting enough money, but I wasn't hitting my other goals. I wasn't really. I didn't see myself as someone that I was proud of at the younger me. You know.
It sounds like you realized that money wasn't everything,
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
but you also realized that it's not that hard to make money.
Yeah. You definitely do need money. That's
you
the
need
other
money
part.
to make money.
You need
That's
it.
also reality.
Yeah. So.
So yeah, it honestly is really hard to be poor. It's just as hard to work hard to make money.
You gotta pick your struggle. You're either gonna struggle to be broke, or you're gonna struggle hard to make money. Pick your struggle.
Yeah.
What do you want to struggle on?
I can't remember. It was a famous. I read it on a book. There's this famous guy. He was a big drug dealer. He was either a drug dealer or mafia. I don't know. Here in the States, I don't know who he was. I can't remember.
States.
Yeah, and this guy, he said when he was in jail and he was getting persecuted, he said that it is just as hard to make money the wrong way that is the
To make
right
it the
way.
right way?
To
Just
make it the
different
right way.
different types of stress for sure.
So that made me realize, man, I guess so. I guess, and
Yeah.
I'd rather pick the right way to do
I'd
it.
rather, I'd rather not have to worry about a bullet hitting me or handcuffs than,
Right, because these guys have to like avoid so many things, not to get killed.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. What do you say you learned? What was the biggest lesson that you learned in sales, being in the sales?
Man, just having like the right demeanor and everything. Like honestly, like your persona, your confidence, learning all that stuff. Right now, it's a bad example. I'm nervous being on camera and all that, but
Is this your first time on camera?
yeah,
or-
first time ever.
First time on camera?
First time ever, yeah. So I'm stumbling my words a bit and everything, but basically like just your persona, your demeanor, the way you carry yourself, the way you handle interactions with people is without a doubt one of the most important things you can learn at a young age, for sure.
Teaches you how to deal with certain kind of people, different kinds
Yeah.
of, all
And that
kinds
is
of
so true
aspects.
because I've gotten jobs basically just because of the way I dress and like the demeanor and the personality.
Yeah.
Not basically not mainly because of what I know. It is so important, and I see a lot of guys that they drink, right? They drink a lot of beer, they get fat, they get a big belly, or they don't take care of themselves. They don't get
I've been
haircuts.
guilty of that.
They don't get haircuts. They don't care how they look. They don't match clothes. Their clothes don't fit right.
Mhm.
And then you change those things. You stop drinking. You not even like only changing your appearance, by only getting the haircuts, by only shaving, by only do those little things, by going just to the gym. Like
Yeah.
just by going to the gym, you can accomplish so much more than if you weren't doing those things. And
It's
those
true.
are little things that you can tweak, like little things that you can start working little by little, changing the way that you look, and it will pay off. It pays off.
Yeah, not even just like just in the aspect of your finances and all that, but like if you quit the bad habits in your life and you start replacing them with better habits, 100% your happiness, your drive, your ambition, everything will be so much better. I promise you. In the past like couple months of me quitting sales and whatnot, I've quit nicotine. So I was heavy
So
on.
you picked up a lot of bad habits.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guilty of that one too. I was smoking a pack of cigarettes. You remember me?
That's a tough one.
I just read about when I started working out. I
Yeah.
just said I'm done with cigarettes, and I stopped smoking cigarettes. I haven't smoked
Yeah.
a cigarette in over 6 months.
Yeah, so now my parents can't see this, but but basically yeah, so like vaping and all that, man, I unfortunately I strayed away from my path, and I got heavily addicted into that stuff, man, and I really like every hit, man, it was like a blow to my confidence, basically, like a blow to my self-image, man, because I'm like, dude, who are you? Like, you used to make fun of these people, like
But
this,
now,
like
once
what
you're
are you
in
doing?
there, you don't even think about that. You're
Yeah.
in there hitting the vape, and
It's bad, man.
yeah,
It's bad. It's
stuff people don't even realize, and then
So, and I want to touch this subject too, like the people that surround you. Like I was reading the book of Jordan Peterson,
Peterson.
and on one of his chapters says, surround yourself with people that care about you.
yeah.
And it has so much. You may think that you might not get influenced, but you do get influenced.
100%.
You get influenced by the people that surround you, and if you pick the wrong friends, you're gonna be like the friends.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like them. And
No, I screwed up on that, man. I've messed up on a few things. A lot of people will say like, I'm doing really well for where I am, but like to me personally, like I know like I've made these mistakes and all that, right? Like I lost my house in a fire. Pretty much I moved up here at 16, and then basically immediately coming here I was the new thing. I was hot shit, you know what I mean?
So where do you come from?
Paradise, California.
Oh, wow.
That's where I grew up. Yeah.
See, I learned something else. That's not something I knew.
Yeah, so I lost my house in 2018.
And you moved up here.
Moved up here. I was
You're
the
17?
new thing. I was the thing on the block, right? And I got in with like these popular people, right? Popular, whatever. I got in with these people, and like, it was an amazing feeling. Like, don't get me wrong, being popular, having access to groups of people that you would have never had before, you know, having these relationships and whatnot, it feels good.
So
Don't get me wrong.
So you came over here to Roseville?
I came to Rockland originally.
Rockland?
Went to Roseville High because my
Roseville High.
cousin was there.
You're automatically the popular kid
Just
because you're the
immediately.
new kid on the block. So what was your life when you were in Paradise? I mean, I know it's a whole different
Dynamic
culture up there because
Yeah.
it's populated.
Yeah.
So you're just
So
how was it over there when you're?
that's actually a really good question. So basically, my school like total had like 200 to 250 kids total. Then
Wow.
that's from kindergarten to
Oh
senior.
wow!
Everybody knew your parents basically.
Yeah,
Everybody knew
yeah,
everyone.
everyone knew everyone, right?
Yeah.
So, and my school was private Christian. My parents were paying like thousand something dollars a month just for me to go there. That's why they were shorter on money, was also that.
For your education.
Yeah, exactly. So, to say my parents didn't care about me, that's false. My parents care a lot about
Oh, yeah.
me. They've helped me out for sure. But basically, coming from like 250 kids total from kindergarten to, you know, senior, coming here and like immediately being the popular kid with like 3,000, 2,500 kids or whatever, it's insane. It's insane. I had total like I think like 16 or 17 kids in my class. Yeah, in Paradise. It was insane. And I had
Were you the popular kid in
I was
Paradise?
not. I was not.
Oh.
No. I had a group of like 3 or 4 friends that I was really close to and really had my best interests. And then coming here, basically what I was getting to, like being popular and all that, man, was just like a lot of people don't realize, man, is like these people that focus on things like that are fickle. They're fickle, man. They're fake. They will do anything that they can to better themselves. When it comes to social media, you know, their friends, all that stuff, they will do anything they can to better themselves. And if you drag them down a little bit, you have a bad day, you have a rough start, you know, whatever, they'll leave you, man. They don't care about you. And so what I realized is I had like 1 or 2 friends that I got introduced to in my sophomore year that definitely did have my best interests. They
was that here or was that
in
still-
Roseville, yeah,
okay,
Roseville.
That's over here.
So same time, I had like 1 or 2 friends, you know, that really had my best interest, and I knew it deep down, right? But I still had this other group that basically appealed to me, like my pleasure side, right? Like I was
Yeah, the popular kids.
Exactly.
You wanted to do the fun stuff with. The
exactly
Parties with.
exactly, and they negatively influenced me because I realized like I was becoming like more judgmental. I picked up nicotine, vaping. I was going out and partying, you know, stupidly at, you know, sophomore year or whatever. And it was a lot of fun. I can't deny it. But at the same time, eventually what I decided is the saying of having 100 pennies is worse than having, you know, 4 quarters is 100% true. Having 4 quarters, having these people that would have your back and everything in any instant is way more valuable than having 100 pennies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that. That's funny that you mentioned that because I did not feel that until like very recently. Like for example, Carlitos he's being very supportive. Like I've known him in high school,
Mm-hmm.
but he's seen things in me that I didn't even see myself. You know, and
You're
then
very talented. You know, like I've told this since I've met this guy. It's like you're smart, man. You're built for something different. You know, like
Mhm.
sometimes you're able to see something in someone. You're like, you know, it's you gotta point it out. You know,
They
like,
have that
nobody
spark.
tells you.
yeah, no, but and that's why I always tell people I try to, when I meet somebody, I also learned this in sales when I was in sales. You want to point out the good thing about everybody when you meet them because it's an automatic click. Like it's when you point it out. Oh look, like look how tall you are. Oh, you nice to meet you. Oh, what? You're that age? Like when you try to be nice and not fake in a fake way. Not just look
Just a
what they have.
genuine, nice,
Genuine thing, like,
Yeah.
Look at you, man. Oh, you got a haircut. Oh, you look good. You look good. Oh, you're losing weight. Like little things like that will trigger something on the other person, and they're gonna automatically like you. And then when you do that, and then let's for example you struggle or you don't see something, they try to do the same thing with you.
Mhm.
They start pointing out things to you, and and like you said, he feels so great having people watching your back, like people that you can say I trust.
Yeah.
And I know that if I one day I need him, they're gonna be there. It feels great having that kind of people, and it's so much worth it. It's so much worth than anything else. It makes you it puts me, for example, this is my opinion, it puts me in a situation where, well, this guy thinks that I can do this, and I better do it, because then he's gonna be disappointed if I don't, and it kind of pushes me forward. You know, it kind of pushes me. Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You see, and it feels great. That's great that you were able to experience that at a young age.
Yeah.
That's a young age to experience that, you know.
Basically, like, there's the other side to it too. The more people you know, like the more you branch yourself out and whatnot, it definitely helps you like build yourself, because the more people you talk to, the more people you learn about and whatnot, you don't really realize it, but you're building your confidence, you're building the way you talk, you're figuring out what your personality is just by talking to all these different people and making relationships with different people and whatnot. So
Well, your personality changes. I mean, that you're developing yourself.
Exactly.
The person you want to be.
exactly.
So there's always going to be that change. You know, it's like you're not the same person you were, you know, 2-3 years ago. Same with
6
you.
months ago.
6 months
Exactly. So like, basically, like doing that isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like having like all these different relationships isn't necessarily a bad thing. The one thing I will say that was like huge for me was like who I let my walls down for, right? For me, I learned that I have probably 4 people in my life, friends like other than family, that basically if I was stranded, and I live in Sac, right? So if I was stranded in, let's say, San Fran, which is a couple hours away, and my car broke down, I had no way of getting home, whatever. Who are the people that I would call and be like, hey,
They'll bail you out.
like you need yeah,
Literally
yeah.
bail you out.
Yeah. But who would be these people that I would call, and without a doubt they would come and get me, right? These are the people that I want to build close relationships with, rather than just being acquaintances and having relationships and whatnot. I want to let my walls down to these people, because once your walls are let down, man, they will have an effect on your life and who you are. Whereas people like that I used to sell cars to and whatnot, you know, we weren't close or nothing. I was selling them a car, but it was nice to have that relationship and that discourse and whatnot. But of course, I'm not gonna let my walls down to people.
You're not gonna call
like
at
that.
3 o'clock in the morning when you're in San Francisco.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with like you get back what you also put out.
It's
If you're
true.
genuine to people.
Sometimes.
Some people will tend to be genuine back.
Yeah, sometimes.
And sometimes, yeah. And it's easier to identify those kinds of people on your lowest points in life.
Yeah,
Exactly.
In your highest
That's
points in
exactly
life,
what happens.
you're gonna have a million friends. You're gonna, like, when you're popular, you're gonna have, everybody's gonna laugh at that dumb joke you said.
Yeah.
You know, but then when you're in a group of small, close friends that you've known for a while,
When things aren't funny.
and then if you say something that normally other people will laugh, and you say that joke, that your real friends can be like, "Bro, that's actually not kind of funny." And you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh wait, I said it a while ago, and everybody laughed."
People that'll call you out and everything.
People
for
call
sure.
you out, so it's
And
everything.
You know what's beautiful though, in that this is probably one of the many reasons why I'm so happy now. Even the things like having court, even all these issues that I have that's still chasing me down from the mistakes I've done, is that what you just said, like having somebody that they can bail you out anytime, even when you're struggling. What the most beautiful thing for me is having a partner, a wife that can also do that, because I can tell you I've been married 3 times, and I can tell you that
3 times the charm.
exactly. I can tell you that my last 2, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I could not say they would bail me out. I don't think they would. Give you an example. You know, being in sales, starting in sales, you're not gonna make any money, right?
Mhm.
Especially the first
Commission,
couple months.
like I've said it in all the podcasts, I didn't make any money at the first.
Took
So-
you how long for your first?
It took me a couple.
That was like a couple months.
few
right?
months.
Took me like 3 months.
3-4
Yeah,
months.
3
Yeah,
months,
it took me
yeah.
a while to
Yeah.
start making money. So to a point where I need $20 just to fill out the tank so I can get to work.
Yeah.
And then the wife having a job and having those $20, and then you ask, and they're like, "For what? How come you don't have money?" And then make a big deal about for $20. That is when you realize you're with the wrong person.
Well, the moment you had to ask for I mean, she should have made sure. It's like this: if you have your wife, you're gonna make sure she's taken care of, right?
I
So
know.
this the
Yeah.
moment she didn't make sure you're taken care of. That's
I know.
when you should have
It was
realized
a big deal. It was a big deal.
And then you
with
had to
$20.
ask, and then you ask, and then you get this big old fiasco for asking for money. It's like that you should have just. How long were you in that marriage for?
Too long. Too long. I think it was less than 3 years. I think it was less than 2 years. But that's I'm always going back into
The
females
points, yeah.
and all these things,
I'm
because
saying
I
for
really don't
females,
want
you know,
anybody.
it's like it's not just for,
Right, and exactly. I've seen some females that complain about their guy that don't want to give him money for even for nails, dude. Like, bro, like why wouldn't you give him money for nails if you guys are going to a party and whatever, and the guy's like, I'm not gonna give you money for nails. Like, come on, bro. Like she better look just as good as you.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
she's your prize. It's a
Give and take.
team effort, give and take.
Yeah.
So a lot of people
Exactly.
I feel everybody, this generation of people, it's all about the taking. People don't like to give.
Exactly.
That's what's changing a lot of people's.
And that's why
mindsets.
that's what you got to be careful of the people that you relate or the people that you marry, because when you struggle, that's when you see their true colors.
It's true.
And I can tell you that my current wife right now, like being as broke as I was, she was there. She was there when she wasn't living with me, but she was there.
You know, I've seen a lot of stuff.
And then Carlitos knows her, and he's seen it. And,
I'm like, dude, this is the first time I actually approved. Even though I was your best man on the second one, this time the third one he eloped, so I was not the best man. Because you eloped, so
Yeah.
I'll still give him a little bit of shit for that.
But you know, like having somebody that you can really trust and
Count on.
and then you know, for example, her being pregnant, I can still get a job. Like I can still help you. I can like, dude, no, chill out. Like, no, I don't need that. Like, thank you. But you know, it feels nice to have at least the intention, that support.
instead of somebody dragging you down.
Exactly.
I think that's where it comes the importance of who you're with, who you're even if it's not your, like you said, your wife, your friends. Same thing with friends. There's gonna be some friends that are gonna drag you down. Some friends that are gonna push you towards
So
your
true.
goals. So it's very important who you surround yourself with.
You better
At the
ignore
time,
it.
you might not even like it too. That's another thing. A lot of genuine, real people will call you out on your shit, right?
Yeah,
We'll call you out on
yeah.
stuff
That
that
is
you're
true.
doing wrong.
That is true.
And the moment someone does that for you, that takes a lot for someone to do. Like,
What's the popular? Oh, he's a hater.
yeah.
When he's actually a true, genuine friend.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
gonna call, he's just hating.
And you're gonna be mad in the moment, but at the end of the day, like you gotta
realize.
realize that's someone that's actually genuine and you should keep in your life for sure.
You gotta delete and block the people, the text message that you get. Hey, let's go party. Hey, let's go for drinks. Hey, let's go.
I mean, there's
let's
nothing
go.
wrong with party, but it's like, all right, what are you celebrating? I mean, there's got to be a reason you're. Say
There's really no reason to fucking party.
we get 1 million subscribers.
I can tell you
we can
that.
party if we get 1 million subscribers.
Dude, you missed a lot of parties being in boxing. You missed
I mean,
a lot
yeah,
of
no,
things.
you missed a lot. But say like,
Hold on,
one time
hold
at
on.
the tournament.
So I missed a lot of parties, right? I didn't go to every single party. I missed a lot. And I can tell you right now, do I regret not going to that party? Oh, hell no. I don't regret it. You will not regret not going to the parties.
No, I'm not saying. But this is the thing. I mean, it's not wrong to party. It just there's supposed to be a reason behind it, like a purpose. You got to
Yeah.
celebrate
A balance.
something. Like the baby shower.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
part of life. So, but
Yeah.
partying just because you want to go get drunk and
Yeah.
that's not a
For
party.
me-
That's more like, ruining your.
Honestly, I party. The only reason why I party and went to the bar is just to get girls.
Yeah.
That's all. And I don't know if that's everybody, but that was my main reason. That was my main. Alcohol will make me more confident, and I didn't care if girls, I didn't care if they reject me or whatever. So alcohol was like my thing to go get drunk a little bit and then go talk to girls. And here I am with a one night stand baby. Like that. That it did not do well.
It did not end well
It
for
wasn't
you.
good.
So.
For me, like, well, it wasn't necessarily partying. I was able to kick partying out of my life pretty easily. For me, it actually was almost gambling, almost.
Oh
Yeah,
I can tell you a lot about gambling. Bro.
Yeah, so basically, like, man, I when I turned 21, immediately I went to the casinos. I love like the rush and the adrenaline from it and everything, just like risking a couple $100 or whatever. I never really got to the point where like it became a problem or issue, just because like I would limit myself on the amount of money. I'd make sure I'd only go with friends, that type of thing. But I could totally see myself having a gambling issue if I didn't have a support system that actually valued
Good thing
me.
you realize that very quick, because I've lost a lot to gambling.
Yeah.
I can tell you that much.
Yeah. So like for me, like with gambling, what I do is literally just only go with my friends, right? Only go with my support system, right?
You got to think about it like this. How many hours is a casino open?
24. Yeah.
How many people work there?
A lot.
How big you think their light bill is?
Yeah, a lot.
You think they got that
By losing?
rich
No.
by giving money out?
Yeah, no. But yeah, like I literally would only do it just like to have fun with like friends or whatever. I'd set a limit for myself, a couple $100.
Gamble responsibly, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
if you do it for fun, I mean,
Just don't gamble.
I mean, it's better
I
not
would
to
just
gamble,
say
but
no.
if you're gonna gamble,
For me, it was
it's
more.
more an entertainment.
Yeah.
Just do it for them entertainment. If you go there knowing that whatever you're gonna spend, it's like your bill for. You don't expect to win any money.
I would just say don't gamble.
Yeah,
Honestly,
that's
dude.
better. That's better for
Better
sure.
not to
But
gamble, but
I
for
mean,
people who do it.
for me, like I love like I don't do the machines or nothing like that. I do like blackjack or poker. I love like those are the only things I'll do. Blackjack and poker, right?
You like that?
Blackjack.
You like that rush? You like that adrenaline?
Yeah. So
that feeling.
with like blackjack, I can like count cards. I learned how to count cards pretty
I
quick.
don't say this out here now.
It's
If
fine.
somebody
It's
sees you.
fine.
And...
It's all right. I learned how to count cards.
So have
and
you made any significant money gambling?
I have, yeah,
What's the most money you've made
Like-
gambling?
1,200 something.
100,000?
No, 1,200 something.
1,200 something.
Yeah, that was one night of blackjack.
What's the most you've lost in one day?
Well, really, if we're just considering what I started with, like 100, 200 bucks, somewhere around there.
Oh, that's the most I've lost in just, I think, and this was just in 3 hands, about 15 grand.
Oh,
Bro,
oh, jeez,
This
for
took
real?
him less than a minute.
Yeah,
I worked at a casino.
You worked at
People lose 150,000.
Yeah, that's not even
That's
one night.
insane.
In one night, yeah.
that's insane.
Like more than that, like hundreds. People fly
Yeah.
from Texas basically here to California just to gamble for a little
Oh,
bit.
like the big
Private
poker
jet.
matches and all that.
Private jet.
Yeah,
Go back.
Do you get the
All
free
over-
rooms? Yeah, I used
all
to
over the
get
Bay
free
Area.
rooms.
yeah,
They get a limousine.
Yeah.
Prepay them with your losses, but
Bro, I
Yeah.
don't understand how can people lose money. Because I remember when I lost $36, I was like, oh my God, I worked 1 hour and a half of my time. I gave somebody 1 hour of my time, over an hour of my time, and I just lost it.
yeah.
I was like, oh no, I'm not doing it. $36. And when I would tell people, 36, you lost $36. Why you crying? That's not why you crying.
yeah,
I was like,
bro, that's
Yeah.
what?
yes, it's an hour and 30 minutes of my time here working, sitting here. Like, no, I'm not giving my money away. Hell
Yeah.
no.
Don't. Hey, if you don't don't do it. That's the
Better-
best
it's
way.
better not
That's
to
the best
gamble.
way. That's the best way.
And if
for
you're
sure.
gonna gamble, just don't do it with the intention to make money. That way, once you lose the money, you're okay with it. You don't gamble money.
Just
You're
don't gamble.
Yeah.
don't
need
gamble.
Like if it's just
Fuck
money
that.
you're gonna spend anyways, it's okay. But don't gamble money you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then people lose money and then they start chasing it. They start spending more
Oh, I
money to
hate.
get it back.
I've never understood that, man. I've never understood that. I will literally watch people like come in with like $100. You know, that's like my limit,
Oh, that's
right?
my limit.
And
And
then-
ATM machine.
Yeah, and then they go back to the ATM machine, and now they're like $600
You're like,
deep, and
what
they're
are you doing,
like,
bro?
what's wrong with you, bro?
That was me.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the ATMs. I'd go to the cashiers to swipe my card because they give you larger amounts.
Really?
Yeah. So
Oh,
you just
man.
go in there and then they're able to withdraw larger amounts that way.
Man.
'Cause
Yeah.
Usually the ATM that has like the daily limit.
This guy
that's
will go
about-
to the casino I work for and I will see him once in a while in the morning leaving the casino.
Well, they usually give
Yeah.
me free nights there.
They will
so
give
that's
him
what
free
I-
nights. Free nights. Yeah, you
Free
already
nights.
paid like 4 times.
Because that was that thing. I don't know what kind of, because you got the membership cards, right?
Mm.
I'd get 3 free nights a week for presidential suites at the casino.
Damn.
Multiple casinos, not just one. It was
You were funding the light bill by yourself.
I was gambling a lot. I don't gamble anymore. I'm glad I stopped doing it. It took me having to be broke to not gamble. And I don't know if I could tell you if I had that kind of money again if I still wouldn't gamble.
Yeah.
Because it's like I said, it's not a good habit, not a good
It's
thing to
not,
get
yeah.
into.
For sure. I've only ever lost like $100 or whatever. You know, I've always stopped myself at my limit, never really done anything. But what I'm saying is I could definitely see myself being addicted to something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
definitely could see it.
The same way that you see yourself being addicted to gambling, that's how I feel with alcohol. That's why I try to avoid it.
You
at
know,
all
Yeah.
I
costs.
mean, even ever since I know you in high school, it's probably numbered and one. I can count with one hand how many times I've seen you drunk. The
Yeah,
day of your
I
wedding,
tried.
the second wedding,
I was a
we
little,
were
yeah.
a little drunk.
Yeah.
I was too drunk to remember, and I left earlier. So, but that would have been one time that I've seen you drunk.
At the age of 18, dude, I used to drink tequila like it was water, dude. Like I drank this entire bottle of Don Julio, whatever it was, and that was the last time I was able to drink tequila. I got intoxicated, bro. I was like,
Now you like vomit from the taste
yep,
of it or whatever.
that's
Yeah.
the smell. I
It's
can't even
awful.
smell it.
It's
I
awful.
can't
You
smell
drink?
it.
Yeah, but not too
Not
much.
too much.
Not too much. Probably like once a month. Once
Yeah, I
every
try
other month.
not to. Try not
So,
to.
I know we have to wrap it up.
Yep,
Pretty soon is
we're
our
gonna
time. We appreciate you coming.
for sure,
Thanks
man.
for
We
having
learned a
me.
couple things from
We
you.
learned a couple things. I
Yeah.
hope for your
Motivation.
viewers.
There's a lot of
You're
motivation there.
motivated?
You even though you're younger, it motivates me as well,
Yeah.
and I bet it motivates other
Motivates
guys
people,
older than you
viewers.
because hey,
Hopefully somebody can learn
a
something.
20-year-old making over 100,000, bro. If you are in your 30s or in your mid 20s and you never made over $100,000 in 1 year, if he did it, you can do it. He
It's a fact.
he said it. He said it. Anybody can do it. If he did it, there's no such thing as he had more opportunities than anybody. Like he said, like they lost their home in the fire. Like there's not a lot of people that lose their home in the fire. So we all remember that fire. It was horrible, and
lot of people
he was able to
had to
succeed,
relocate.
become successful. And it's all about discipline. And if you need to go to the military to be disciplined, go ahead and do it. If you have to sign up for martial arts and become disciplined, you go ahead and do it. Or just
need
watch
that.
YouTube videos.
Some people need
need it.
something else to show them that discipline. You know,
Some
some
sometimes
people are
you
disciplined
don't.
themselves. Sometimes you don't need the.
We were lucky enough to have some discipline in ourselves, and I think this is one of the main things that you got to concentrate in. If you want to, if you don't be broke. You don't have to be broke. You don't have to live a bad life. You don't have to. Just work hard and be disciplined. Do what you're supposed to do, and you'll be successful. That's all it takes. He did it. We can all do it. So I will leave you with that, guys.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Appreciate you
Hopefully
guys
we're gonna
listening.
have Andrew back as a guest for a different segment.
I'd appreciate that.
For sure. We'll
Yeah.
learn.
I mean, there's
a couple
so much
more
to
things
talk about.
that we
But
can
I
talk
think we
for
just
hours.
touched the surface, and like I said,
For sure.
time is important, and we all have other obligations. So.
For sure. So hit that like button, share it, subscribe. We'll see you next time, guys. Take care.